Good morning, Black America. Grand Rising, beloved. I'm Crypto Stock Markets, and I'm here to help you turn digital sense into generational sense. Now, let's unpack it. War doesn't just move armies, war breaks money. And right now, you're watching that happen in real time in Iran. Iran's currency, the rial, has collapsed to around 1.5 million rial for $1. Think about what that means. When a currency gets that weak, people stop trusting it. They stop saving in it. They stop holding it. They try to escape it. And when people try to escape their own currency, they start looking for something else. Dollars, gold, crypto. During the recent escalation and airstrike window, millions of dollars began moving out of Iranian crypto exchanges. That tells you something important. When instability hits, people move their money. They don't wait for banks. They don't wait for permission. They move. Now, here's another layer most people don't realize. It really just rides right under the radar. Iran legalized crypto mining back in 2019, but it wasn't just about technology. Licensed miners were required to sell their Bitcoin to the Iranian central bank in exchange for subsidized electricity. In other words, Iran figured out how to turn energy into Bitcoin. At certain points, estimates suggested 2 to 5% of global Bitcoin mining power was coming from Iran. So while their national currency struggles, the country has also been quietly building a parallel financial pipeline on the side. Now think about that. A collapsing currency on one side and a digital financial rail being built on the other. When a country's money breaks, people don't sit around hoping it fixes itself. They move their wealth somewhere safer. And right now, the blockchain is showing that movement in real time. But the war isn't just affecting Iran. The financial shockwaves are spreading far beyond their borders. Now, this is where things get interesting. When tensions rise in the Middle East, the global economy reacts almost immediately. Markets start shaking, currencies start moving, and energy becomes the pressure point. During the recent escalation, markets in other parts of the world reacted quickly. South Korea's stock market dropped sharply and even triggered a circuit breaker. Dubai's market reopened after a halt and fell several percent. That's what happens when investors start pricing in geopolitical risk. But the real pressure point isn't just the stock market, it's oil. About 20% of the world's oil supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz. The narrow shipping lane sits right next to Iran. If anything disrupts traffic through the corridor, the entire global energy market feels it. Oil prices move, shipping costs rise, inflation pressure comes back. That's why statements have already been made that the U.S. Navy would step in to protect oil tankers moving through the Strait of Hormuz if necessary. Because if those ships stop moving, the global economy starts shaking. So here are 3 things worth watching closely: oil prices, current pressure across the region, and capital movement when instability rises, because the system always leaves clues. But to really understand the situation, you have to zoom out and look at the bigger. You have to understand how wars are actually funded. Now let's take this one a step further. When people think about war, they picture soldiers, tanks, and aircraft carriers. But wars are really powered by something else: money. So the question becomes simple. How does the United States pay for wars? 2 main ways: taxes and debt. Taxes are the obvious part, but the bigger part is borrowing. When the government needs more money than it collects in taxes, it sells treasury bonds. Banks buy them, investors buy them, foreign governments buy them. That's how the system keeps running. But here's the irony. The United States is sitting on trillions of dollars in national debt, and yet the same country continues to spend massive amounts on military power: aircraft carriers, fighter jets, defense systems, weapons. Now, a lot of people say the US dollar is backed by gold. Others say it's backed by oil. Some say it's backed by the strength of the treasury. But when you zoom out and look at the global system, many people come to the same conclusion. The dollar is ultimately backed by guns, military power, because the United States runs the world's reserve currency while also operating the most powerful military on the planet. That combination reinforces itself. The dollar finances the military, and the military helps protect the system that keeps the dollar dominant. The United States runs the world reserve currency while also operating the most powerful military on earth. That combination allows the country to borrow enormous amounts of money to fund its power. Now, some people look at that situation and ask a blunt question. If a country is trillions of dollars in debt while also holding the strongest military in the world, who exactly is going to show up and demand their money back? Take care, loved ones. I'm Crypto Stock Markets, and I'll get up with y'all tomorrow.